Thank you for joining us for our seventh InvestorAi Academy webinar. We've had seven, back-to-back webinars, and many of you now know the drill of what we're going to do. But a very interesting topic today on momentum investing. I have with me Akshaya Bhargava, our founder and chairman, and I also have with me Sarthak Behura, our head of products. I'm Shruti Bopaya, and I manage communications. We have the rest of the team as well, who will be here answering a lot of your questions on the chat. So keep them buzzing, keep them coming, and we can't wait to answer your questions. So without further ado, Akshay, over to you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Shruti. Welcome, everyone. My personal welcome to all of you who have taken the time to join us. Really happy to see you here. Particularly happy to see some very familiar names of people who joined us more than once. Man, that makes me feel like a British Airways pilot who welcomes their frequent flyers, when he's making the welcome announcement. But never mind, I'm still very happy to see all of you. A few administrative sort of announcements. I think Shruti said that. We will take questions. I intend to speak for about 25 minutes or so, after which we will have plenty of time for questions. And again, from the feedback we have received, it is really the question and answer session that people find most interesting and valuable, because it is spontaneous and not prepared. So if you write your questions in the chat box, we will answer them in real time as I am speaking. And once I finish, then I will be able to take some of the more general questions that will help. Some of you have seen this. So like before, I want to start with just understanding who we have here today. So Prabal is going to put up a question, which is going to ask you about number of years of investing experience you have. And please pick whichever category you fall in. This really helps me tailor my dialogue to the kind of audience we have. Okay.
Can you see it, Akshay?
I can see it, yes. So I can see 65% is less than 1 year, 57, 58%. Okay, that's very good, very useful to know. It's also good to see that we have 8 people with more than 3 years experience. The second question is, have you used InvestorAi? So I'd just like to see what the audience is, and have you been using it to understand market? Okay, so 50-50. That's not bad. Some of you have used it, some of you haven't used it. So I will again make sure that I explain InvestorAi a little bit. Okay, so today's topic is momentum investing. I'm going to share my screen, and then I'm going to. So momentum investing is a term that all of you would have come across and read about. And it's well worth talking about what is momentum investing. And but even before you go to momentum investing, the more general point that I want to make is InvestorAi philosophically has been created with a certain vision in mind. There are things that we do better than anyone else in the world. And there are things we do not do at all. So, for instance, we will never give you advice. We will never tell you what to do. Okay? You will not see real-time prices on InvestorAi. There are just some things that are there, and I can happily explain why that is so. Our belief, the purpose and the vision and our mission is to make you, the investor, a powerful investor. And the best way we believe we can do that is by giving you very high quality information and showing you how to use it. Okay, so that is what I mean by saying you plus AI is really the superpower that we want to create for you. And AI is the reason AI is so important is because it can handle enormous amounts of data very quickly, very fast, and show you the conclusion in a way that you can understand. And that's really what we are here to do. We are here to make you powerful. So don't think of us, we don't replace anything. We are not an auto bot or auto trader or something who manages your money for you. No, we never do that. Think of us as the Iron Man suit in the Iron Man movies. It took a normal human being and made him extremely powerful and able to fly. And we want you to fly. But you are the most important factor. Okay. The more capable you are, the more effective you will be in terms of combining the human element with the machine element. Okay. So if I go forward, like, what is momentum investing? So very simply, you have to select the right stock, and that's not easy. You have to perform the right technical analysis. Okay. And in the context of momentum investing, technical analysis is far more important than fundamental analysis. You have to then buy the stock when it's on its way up, and you have to sell when you think it has peaked. Now, there are many, many assumptions here. Firstly, how easy or difficult it is to find the right stock. Secondly, technical analysis is not easy. You know, some people do it, some people have some favorites, some people look at candles, some people look at some trends, but nobody does everything equally well. And because it takes a lot of time and effort. Secondly, buying on the way up is very easy, but it involves a prediction. Is it going to go up or is it going to go down? Kuch bhi ho sakta hai, you know, so you don't know. And then selling at peak is also very easy for me to say, but it is very hard to do. How do you know it is at peak? Again, it involves looking into the future. So this is what Alpha 330 or momentum investing algos that we have do for you. They give you this power of prediction. So a number of people have talked to me that, you know, how is InvestorAi different from Money Control or Stock Edge or so many good places where you can get information. All these places are very good information sources, but they give you information on what has happened. InvestorAi tells you about what might happen. So we are looking at the future. We are trying to make predictions. Because we know we are making predictions, we track the accuracy of our predictions regularly, and we show it to you. Okay. So with that construct, let me go into the two momentum algos that we have. In the app, you will see Alpha 330 and swing trades. Alpha 330 targets a 3% return in 30 days. Okay. And 3% might not look like much, but if you look at 30 days, it is really 12 times that. So this is targeting a 36% return. Okay. So just bear that in mind. Swing trades is even more powerful. It targets 2% in 3 days. In 3 days, mind you. Okay. So this is not strictly a day trading algo because it is not, you know, intraday, but it is across 2 or 3 days. So this is really a short-term thing. And 2% in 3 days, then you know, this is a massive, massive return if it achieves that. So these are both high return algos that operate at very high levels of accuracy. Okay. And again, this is a prediction, you know, so some will be right, some will not be right. You have to accept that. So we're not saying this is 100% hone wala hai, but we are saying based on all the analysis, based on all the trends, and based on what we have seen in similar circumstances going back the last 10 years, this is where we think it is very likely to happen. Okay, that's sort of what we are saying. So think of it like, you know, we are saying, you know, there's a traffic jam on the way to the airport. It is likely that you will get late. Okay, it is very likely you'll get late, but it's not 100% guaranteed that you'll get something. It might open up, you know, VIP car might go, you might just follow it and things like that. So it is a prediction. Bear that in mind. Now, so if you take Alpha 330, it is a machine learning model that computes the probability of a stock to outperform a certain level of return. So it analyzes 600 pieces of data every day, both technical and fundamental, for every stock in every market every day. Okay, that is what I meant by, if you can do the analysis, can it be done on Excel? Of course it can be done on Excel. Will you have the time to do it? You may have the time to do it, but if you do it, chances are you won't have time to trade. So, it is really quite hard. And by doing it automatically in a fraction of a second, it identifies potential breakout stocks that can produce 3% return in 30 days. So now let's see what happens. What does the Alpha 330 signal looks like? So I'm taking this insight that was this screenshot from 10th of March. So it's a little old. It is about Canfin Homes. Okay. And first, if the signal is telling you that algo has identified Canfin Homes as a stock that will meet the criteria, then it gives you company details. It tells you it's trading at 562 rupees. It tells you how has the stock performed since the signal was generated. So signal was generated on 26th of February. This screenshot is from the 10th of March. So between 26th February and 10th of March, it has generated 17.5% return. Now, because it is a 30-day signal, we hold it open for 30 days. So it's been open for 12 days as of 10th of March. So it's got 18 days to go. And as you might imagine, the signal fluctuates on a day-to-day basis, which is the signal strength chart. And, so now the signal has dropped. Ideally, you should buy when the signal is the highest, which is the day on which it is generated. And if you had bought this, you would have made 17.5%, which is a very, very good return for 12 days. The next page, which shows you similar stocks, this is our Netflix moment, where we show you, stocks that are similar to Canfin Homes, and where there is an active signal. And as you can see, there are some active signals here. Some have done well, some have not done well. But these are all 30-day signals. And during these 30 days, the price will go up and down. So you have to form your view of the company. Then if the last page is the snapshot, which tells you that this is a banking stock. It's a mid-cap banking stock. 1 year performance has been very strong, 32%, of which 17% came in the last 10 days. And this is the historic performance versus the index. And it has not outperformed the index, as you can see. Next algo is swing trades, which is our second momentum algo. This algo is only available for the Indian market, and its coverage is only FNO stocks. So futures and options market, only the 170 or so stocks that are covered are included in our swing trades idea. So if you click on the view button, you will then see, I took a screenshot this morning. So there is only one open idea. These are 3-day ideas. And so we tell you the date the idea was created and the expiry date. And of course, including weekend. So it's 8th April idea, which will expire on Monday, the 12th of April. And this is telling you it's Muthoot Finance, and it's a long idea. And since 8th of April, which is just a day, it has generated 2.3%. So this algo has done what it is supposed to do, 2% in 3 days. It has generated 2.3% in less than 3 days, in 2 days. Okay, so please remember, price updates are not in real time. Huh? This is as of previous day. And the reason they're not in real time, because if you want to buy or something, your broker will give you the real time price. Okay. So, just bear that in mind. And we show the expiry date very clearly so that you know how long this idea is valid for. You see the section on closed ideas. You can just click on that and see closed ideas for the last 1 week. And that will give you a very clear idea of how this algo has done. So every insight is shown, whether it's made a positive return or a negative return, as the case may be. And remember, you will get long and short ideas. So that's the 2 algos. I will of course, log in with my phone, and you will be able to see it. I'll show you the details in action. But just bear in mind that I just want to show you how to read the accuracy section. Okay, so this is not today's screenshot. This is a little dated, but even so, if I can, what it is really telling me is, sorry, just give me 1 second. So what this is telling me that this algo has generated working at 77% accuracy. So it is right 77 times out of 100. And it has generated 618 insights since it was since in the last 30 days, which collectively have generated a 6% return. Okay? And and this 6% return is across the global markets and all the global algos. If I look at the Indian market, again, for this 30-day period, all Alpha 330 ideas have generated 3.2%, which annualizes at 38%. So it's really powerful. Benchmark for the same period has been 1.8%, which means you've got 17.1% excess return over benchmark. So these accuracy numbers are available to you every day, and they will change. I'll show you the latest, and you'll see the latest is not as strong. The accuracy is 69% versus 77%. So it goes up and down. And look, we will tell you whether it is 90% or whether it is 60%. So we never hide anything, and it's completely sort of available to you to see. If I look at this, look at globally, there are these are very productive algos. So we've generated 1,500 ideas in India, 30 days, UK 900 ideas, US 3,000 plus ideas, and Europe 2,000 ideas. So let me now, I'm going to sort of stop here and share my screen, share my phone screen. So just bear with me for a moment. I'll do that, and then I can walk you through some of my algos. Okay. So now if I go to InvestorAI, you're familiar with the front page. For those of you who have not used InvestorAI before, when you open the app, this is where you will land up. Okay. You see the 4 squares on the top right-hand button next to the bell icon. If you click on that, that is the menu. And in the menu, there is a section called Preferences. You should go to Preferences, and you have to set your markets and sectors, because if you don't set it right, you won't see the right information. So if you go to Markets, there are a number of markets that are possible. I have switched on UK, US, and India. So I won't make any changes. And then you can go to Sectors, and I have only 3 sectors on, which is technology, leisure, and retail. If I wanted pharma, I could just switch it on. It's very, very simple to do that. But unless you do that, so if you don't switch on banking, then you never see any insight on banking. But it's extremely simple and easy to do it. So just remember that is an important thing that you have to do. There are videos in the app, so anytime you want to understand how to use something, you can. There is also a knowledge center in the menu, and if you go there, then you'll get another bunch of algos. There is also something called glossary that will show you all technical terms that we use at any time. Okay, coming back to here, let's go to ideas, which is our ideas corner. And let me go to Alpha 330. And I want to show you one specific example where I actually bought a stock, and let's see what happened. Okay. So when you will see a number of insights. You will see only 12 to begin with. You can see more. If you click on more, then you will see more, and you can keep clicking, and you can see there's just a whole bunch of them that are there. If you think that's too much, you can sort them in any way. Let me sort them by monitor, the ones I'm monitoring. And I'll show you, this is a very interesting feature. So I'm monitoring about 9 stocks here. And many of them are technology, because I like technology thing. And so some are familiar names: Emphasis, Google, Salesforce, Bill.com, Amazon. So let me go to Amazon. Okay, so I look at Amazon. So, personally, I have always wanted to buy Amazon because I admire Amazon as a company. Okay. But I've always been nervous. $3,000 a stock. So one share के लिए $3,000 ये बहुत लगता है मेरे को. So I have not bought for many months, but I have been tracking Amazon. Then on 29th of March, which is last week, this insight came up, and I said, "Wow, at $3,000, it is going to. You're saying it is going to generate 3%. That sounds quite fantastic." So, so I asked Sarthak and his team, I said, "Can you just check it?" And then they came back saying, "Yeah, absolutely right. All the signals are go." So I said, "Fine." I actually bought Amazon. Okay. And as you can see, it has already done 9.6%. And and again, I'll show you my own portfolio. So I'm going to come out of InvestorAI. I'm going to go to Interactive Brokers where I hold my investment account. And as you can see, the second from top is Amazon. I bought it when it was 3050. It is now 3367. Unfortunately, I bought only 5 shares. So I was a bit scared. So I made only $1,000 as gain. But if I had bought, I wish I now had bought 50 shares, but you can see that, I actually acted on the insight that came up, and I genuinely made money. And similar, I had a question of Google, which trades at $2,000. But if you look at Google, that's made 11% since 23rd of March. Similarly, Salesforce. The Salesforce is, again, a $200 stock. It has made 9.7% again since 29th of March. And the final one I want to show you is Facebook, which is also an expensive stock, $300. It's made 10%. So this is really a very accurate algo. And you can just click on the target button. You can see its accuracy is a little lower today. As I said, it changes. It's 69%. But by and large, this does what it says on the tin. So, there is reason to sort of trust it. So now let's just examine how this screens work. It is showing now the signal is low because the stock has already made money. But we will still keep it open for 30 days. So it's got 16 days to go. In the past, Facebook has underperformed the index. So it's telling you that, Facebook may do well, but this time the signal has done really well. There are 8 similar stocks to Facebook, and these are the ones all we have seen. I don't know who some of these companies are, but if you want to see who is LSXMK, you just click on this, and it is Liberty Sirius Group. It's a NASDAQ listed company. Okay. And this stock also has made 5%. So you can, navigate the app really, really quite easily. Anytime you want to investigate who is this Liberty Sirius. So there's a live info button at the bottom. You go in there, and now you're in Google Finance, and you can look at Liberty Sirius. You can go in there, and you can sort of read news about the company, you read comments about the company, anything. So this gives you the opportunity to research how you want. You're still in the app, so you just say back and you come back, and so on and so forth. So this was my monitored stocks, but let me just get rid of it. Let us just see what the latest insights are. So these are some of the latest insights. I can again sort them by returns, and again it shows you. So here's a pharma insight called Cara Therapeutics. It's made 47% in 18 days. It's a 22nd March insight, and it's really gone up almost 50%. So this is pretty incredible. These are unbelievable numbers. So this is Alpha 330. I'm not going to go deeper into it, and I will leave it to you to ask questions if you have any. I just want to briefly look at swing trades, which is our second momentum algo. So I go on swing trades, it tells you what it is. You switch it off. So it's only active for the Indian market. So if I say view, so now it shows me that I can look at open ideas. There is only one open idea, which is Muthoot Finance. And again, you saw this on the presentation. It has generated 2.3%. There are a bunch of closed ideas. So Hero MotoCorp generated 0.9%, DLF generated 1.3%, Power Finance generated 1.9%, Hero MotoCorp previously generated lost money. So it's very easy to just check what is happening. Some insights have made a lot of money, some insights have not made money. And the difference really is, don't blindly buy just because our algo is saying so. You have to exercise your judgment. I cannot tell you how important that is. Your judgment supersedes everything. If you do not know what this company does, if you don't understand its business model, if you don't like the company, do not touch it with a barge pole. Just don't. So regardless of how good it might be, I think that's a very, very important message that I want you to take away. Before I close, before I stop my presentation, let me just talk a little bit about, I talked to you about accuracy. I just want to say one thing. A number of people have come to us about subscriptions and how do we do it. I know there is a little bit of a problem with the credit card mechanism that we have. We are in the process of fixing it. But two things. One is to say thank you to all of you for attending this webinar. We are offering a 10% discount. Okay, so our domestic pro plan is $799 a month, and the international plan, the annual payment is $8,900, which basically gives you a month off. You're getting an additional 10% off on that. Okay. Secondly, there is a very easy way to subscribe. If you want to subscribe, just write to us as support@bridgeweave.com, and we will send you our bank account details. Just go to net banking, make your payment, take a screenshot, send it to us. We will set you up on the back end. This is only for next 2-3 weeks while we sort out the payment gateway. So just bear with us, and if you want to subscribe, there is a very, very easy and a simple way to do so. So thank you for listening. I'm going to stop here. Delighted to take questions.
Thanks, Akshay. We have a lot of questions, many on some of the points that you covered. Before I start, Vineet, you will need to put your question in the chat. I see you raised your hand. Please put in your question in the chat. We'll take it. I'm going to first start with the comment Sriram has made as you were going through the different slides. He says, use the Alpha 330 insight on care ratings entered on 30th and 31st at an average of 417. Yesterday's close was 485. It works. I was never tracking care ratings prior to the insight. And Sriram, you're absolutely right. There are so many of those stocks that many of us don't even know. And when it just comes up as an insight, it's like, oh wow, who is this company? So this is thank you. I just wanted to say thank you for your this comment as well.
Thank you so much. I know you're a regular participant in these webinars. We are very grateful for you that you take your time on every Saturday, and I'm delighted that you've done so well. Keep going. More power to you.
Great. Gautam has a question, Akshay. I have used Alpha 330, so I had a situation where there was a signal generated which I executed. However, after 2 days, the system showed no signal. Now, is that an indication that we have to exit the stock? I am clueless, need clarity.
Okay, let me start, and I'm going to invite Sarthak to join in. So Gautam, the signal is simply the signal as of today. Okay, we show the insight when the signal, obviously it only comes up when the signal is high, and we do that when it is the most powerful signal. If you buy when the signal is high, then look at what the stock is doing. Okay, if it is doing well, you should, if it's made the money you want, you should exit. Don't use the no signal as a guide to either to exit. However, no signal is probably a better guide not to enter. Yeah. Okay. I hope that makes sense. So when the signal is high, that is what it is saying is the probability of that stock to deliver 3% is high. It is at the or beyond the threshold that we want. So we are happy to show it to you. It is not necessarily a signal to exit when you see no signal, but it is definitely, in my view, a signal not to buy at that time because jo hona tha ho gaya abhi. So wait for the signal to go up, and if you made 2 or 3%, just exit. Sarthak?
Yeah. So actually, good summary. Let me give you a slightly more technical answer because we have audience now of 5-6 sessions. So remember, so when we say we generate signals using machine learning AI, ultimately it is a probability score. It is a score out of 1 because absolute probability will always be 1. Now imagine, guys, we have 500 stocks in the universe. The thing is, there will be a lot of companies that are likely to deliver 3% in the day, bull markets, etc. Then how exactly you rank them? Because if you say, okay, these 200 companies will deliver, then you would be bombarded with 200 insights on a single day. We have had that before. So the thing is, what we do is we take the prop score or the ability of a stock to deliver that 3%, and we then rank it across all the companies that have that signal. So it could be like, for example, take Reddington. It might have a prop score or a probability score of 95, but since all other companies also have a very good score, the signal status might drop to no signal. But that doesn't mean that the signal, that might not deliver 3%. That's why anytime we generate any insights, and Gautam, this is for you, we do not close it for 30 days. And after 30 days, whatever the returns and etc., that gets reported in the accuracy. So in case if you have bought it, always wait for the 30 days to get over. Do not, because if you have bought it, don't use the signal status to sell. But if you haven't entered, use the signal status to decide you want to enter or not.
There's another excellent question that I'm just reading on the chat line. I'm going to pick it up, Shruti, if you don't mind.
No, please go ahead.
This is from Jagdish.
Yeah.
And it says, I've observed InvestorAi for quite a few months. Honestly speaking, algos are very strong during the bull markets. It's completely reliable. Thank you, Jagdish. We're happy to hear that. But I have a doubt there. Imagine a stock idea recommended through Alpha 330 with an active signal, and then there's an internal issue with the company and something happens to the company. So, a very good question. And it can happen. Now, some specific events that have occurred yesterday will not get picked up by our algos, because the algos don't go look for that kind of information. Our information comes from market sources of data and what is available on the stock exchange filings. So we collect 900 pieces of information, okay, but it is not everything that happens with the company. This is why I say that there is no substitute for your personal research. And the superpower we are talking about, go back to my message, is you plus AI. AI is telling you something. You have to have a view. If you don't have a view, don't do anything. Do not buy, do not sell, stay out. Okay? It is not you plus AI equals superpower. Either of the you or AI cannot be zero. Okay, both have to have a positive number, then it works. So please, if you buy a stock, follow it. Read the papers. If you see something of concern, get out. Because the algo will not pick up some of these things.
Yes. Having said that, actually, let me add. So we have some protection measures. So what happens is if suddenly a stock drops 15-20% and there is acute volumes, it gets flagged by our system. But like Akshaya said, we do not generate intraday signals. So everything that we generate is end of day. So we will change the signal status and suspend insights, but it will always be overnight. It won't be intraday. We are not, we never pretended or never wanted to be intraday, because we really believe most investors cannot, get into that and make money reliably every day. So that's why a lot of our signals are based on the selection DNA. You make a good selection, you make money.
I'll give you an example. It's a funny story. A friend of mine in New York, I was visiting New York on work, and I called him. I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "No, come, I'll take you out for dinner. We'll have a nice New York steak." So I said, "Okay." We had nice New York steak. I said, "But listen, didn't you have problems with cholesterol and all that, and you're eating steak?" He said, "Yeah, I'm having steak. After dinner, I will have a statin." So, it is not like you can counter one with the other. You have to have a very balanced kind of view, and you cannot overindulge on one side and completely ignore the other and hoping it will balance out.
Anyway, that's a good example. On that note, Akshay, I think Kavita and Ashwin, with this response, I think your questions got answered. Kavita and Ravinder have a similar question, which is, Kavita says when you showed examples, Akshay, that she said she felt those stocks were really expensive, and that's not the amount of money there is to invest. And Ravinder has a similar question, which is how much capital is needed to start?
So a good question. Firstly, stocks are very expensive. You're absolutely right. More and more, this wasn't there 3 years ago, but today, if you go to the US market, there are at least 3 or 4 and more maybe names, 3 or 4 that I can name, companies where you can buy fractional stocks. You can buy 1/10 of Amazon. You can buy 1/20th of Facebook. So the fractional trading is coming. I think I can't be certain. Sarthak, is there fractional trading in India also?
Not yet.
Not yet, but it'll come. Zerodha or somebody will launch it. Because it is very popular. It allows everybody to enter. How much capital is enough? Start with anything. And I will tell you in the last webinar I put up some numbers. The powerful thing, the biggest power you have is time. Okay, I don't know what the group in this webinar is, but in the last webinar, 57% of the population that attended were under 30. If you're under 30 and let's say you start investing when you're 30 years old, your expected life, let us say, is 85. Okay, you have 55 years to invest, to go. If you put even 1 lakh, an example, I think I can't remember, but I used 5 lakhs as a starting point with 1 lakh every year. Your total investment in 30 years is 35 lakhs, but at a 15% compounded return, you would get 33 crores by the time you're 60 years old. That is awesome kind of number. The power of compounding works in your favor. Start with 10,000 rupees there. Start with 50,000 rupees, whatever you have, but be steady. Okay, reinvest your returns. Don't keep taking money out. Okay, if you do that, and I suspect all of you are relatively young, you have 20, 30 years ahead of you. And if you just do the arithmetic on an Excel spreadsheet, take 10% return, compound it every year, go for 30 years and see what happens. You'll be shocked in a very positive way.
And every Saturday you can tell us how much did you how much journey did you cover. For us it's a journey too. I mean, look, guys, I know some of you guys have been talking about our price point is too high. I mean, guys, let us be honest. We had a astronomical price. We cut it down by half just to accommodate and make it very palatable for all of us. The thing is, the kind of data we use is avant-garde data. We're not like a traditional broker or a research house that would use local data. The kind of data we use costs us a lot. The compute, the machine learning, the engineers,
Yeah.
the cost of service is slightly higher. But please try us once. You will see the difference.
No, and look, frankly, I kind of disagree with Sarthak here. I don't think the price is high. It is what it is. If you think $7.99 plus a discount is too high, then fine, just use the free plan. Start getting accustomed to it. Even in the free version, you will see 5 or 6 algos, insights every day from every algo. And it'll give you some comfort. So get comfortable with it. There is one question I really want to take. It's from Aditya. It says, doubt from the Alpha 330, is this new age theme section same as small case? And how often are these themes updated? So it is very similar to small case. Yes, it is because it's a thematic basket. But remember, small case focuses on India stocks. New age theme is international stocks. That is one. Secondly, the kind of themes we have picked up are ones where ETF coverage is not very high. So if you go to technology, for instance, generally technology or something, there are hundreds of ETFs on technology. If you go to travel or airline, there are hundreds of ETFs that just cover those things. Then the utility of a theme is somewhat diminished. So we have deliberately picked some themes which are emerging themes where ETF market hasn't caught up, which gives you an idea. And these are all international stocks. So you have to be able to invest internationally. But the one point I want to make is sort of coming soon kind of thing. So we are working on a portfolio idea, which is very similar to what you see in the small case site in the publisher section, where we are taking some of the strongest ideas from Alpha 330, making it available to you, and it will be rebalanced either weekly or monthly, depending on which portfolio you pick. This is in development. It should be live in the next 3 or 4 weeks. So if you want to really use that, I would encourage you to look at it, because we are developing it, and the backtesting returns we have seen are simply phenomenal. So this is a very exciting development that is coming, and we'll tell you, of course, when it is ready, and we hope you use it and like it.
And Akshay, to answer your question, we have Vaibhav who's actually put in a comment about the price of our subscription. He says, I made some money last week. I don't think the price is high if you start making money. Loving it. I think I started with domestic and only a 40K investment, made 4% in 2 weeks. I am happy. Thank you, Vaibhav.
Thank you, Vaibhav. We are very happy that you're happy. And Ravinder, I can see you've installed InvestorAi tool, but never looked into it. But from this webinar, it's interesting. Is there any how to use guide? So if you go to our InvestorAi YouTube page, there are a number of videos which will show you how to use it. There is a demo of the app that I have recorded, which also shows you. Within the app itself, there are a number of videos. So you don't even have to go out. You can just click from inside the app and look at it.
Ravinder's follow-up question was, how does he start in the US markets, trading in the US markets? How does one go about that? And Sriram has got Paisa Vasool, he says, for the annual domestic plan. I just had to read that out. But yes, Akshay, please answer the question on how
Sriram
to start.
Was already my favorite person. Well, thank you. Thank you again. So to the question, how do you go about investing in US markets? I think you can go to any broker in India. I mean, ICICI, IIFL, Kotak, HDFC, all the big full-service brokers have tied up with somebody or the other to allow you to trade internationally. You will be trading under your LRS allowance. LRS is $250,000 per year per person. You don't have to use all of it. But remember, starting with 10,000 rupees and all won't make sense. If you're going international, then you have to have some reasonable amount. I'm not going to say what that it is, but it's probably in the region of 5 lakhs plus. Because remember, when you go international, you will pay for every single trade, and you will pay $9-10 for a trade. So you have to think, before you make a trade. If you start with very small money, you could just spend all of it just making, paying fees and commissions. So look at the costs, look at but my recommendation to you is go through your broker, go through a respectable broker, because if something goes wrong, sorting things out can be a little tricky. So having a solid Indian counterparty who you know and trust is very important.
Yeah, sorry, actually, a couple of quick things, because these messages came directly to me. So there is a question from Tarun. Sarthak, I'm trying to subscribe. Somehow I'm unable to make the payment as only Visa and MasterCard. What do I do? Tarun, we will reach out to you. Please drop in your email.
We'll give you our bank account details. You can use net banking to make the transfer, and we'll set you up on the back end. This is a very temporary problem which you're in the process of fixing.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So just one more. Paresh actually says it's extremely easy to open an a trading account if you want to invest internationally. He says Kotak has tied up with IBKR. So people just look at what Shailesh is also saying on the chat, because he's made a very important point. He says, it's easy to tie up with lots of brokers are out there. However, beware of wire transfer fees or money withdrawal fees. I think that's very important.
I think, the costs are not small. Paresh, good to see $3 per trade. Very nice. And by the way, Interactive Brokers, IBKR, is a fantastic company. I'm not recommending that, but they are, my personal account was with IBKR. The screenshot that I showed you is IBKR screenshot. I use it every day. So I'm a regular user. we have tied up with Interactive Brokers as Bridgeweave to give InvestorAI insights to all their customers in 33 countries. So they're a company whom we know quite well.
Great. And IBKR is International Brokers, just for
Interactive
everyone.
Brokers.
Interactive Brokers, sorry, Interactive Brokers. Meet has a similar, she wants the bank account details as she was facing the same issue as Tarun. We'll reach out to you, Meet. So thank you for letting us know about that. Akshay, before, I think we've sort of, yeah. Okay. Actually, we wanted to ask one more question, which is about if people here today wanted to, have an exclusive webinar with us, specifically on InvestorAI and had questions, then we're really open to that. So we wanted to know how many of them are actually interested in an exclusive Q&A.
And answers, nothing else. So we'll start with a few questions that people send us, and then we'll only take questions because then it's completely spontaneous and you will be driving the content.
So far, all the votes have been yes. So,
okay. So look, I think that tells me that people are interested. One final question, people, before we close, is we want you to give us a rating for this webinar, and separately on the chat, if you could give us suggestions on how we could make it more interesting and more useful for you. So Prabal, if you can close this question and put up the rating question, that would be. So please tell us how you found this, you like it, not like it, and what we can do to be better.
In case somebody thought 1 was the highest, no, 5 is the highest.
1 is the lowest, so I can see 1 person there. If
I'm just saying, just in case you...
Tell us what we can do to make it better for you.
Yes,
the one individual who rated us 1, please tell us what we can do to be better. We will take that very seriously and we will do that. Okay, thank you very much. Will you just
yes, I will just do a quick wrap up, team, so that I can just share with you the special discount code that we have. If I can get that slide up, team. Yeah, while it's going up, we have, like we always say, we now have more people who are registered.
Black boxes on it.
Yeah.
Just
reshare it. Yeah.
Just
reshare it. While that comes up, let me anyways just go ahead. We have more people now who are InvestorAI registered users. However, if you've come into this webinar today and would now like to register with us, can I have the previous slide, please? And would like to register with us, please visit the website, investorai.co.uk, and enter the discount code, which is right over here, which is WBNR07. And you could register and go right through to avail your discount for the subscription as well. And this is for the annual plan. If you're already registered with us, open your phone, go to the menu, hit subscribe, and that's it. Just put in our code and you could avail the discount. So thank you very much, everyone. We will reach out to all of you who wanted to subscribe with us, and we will share the bank account details. If you have any questions, do write to us at support@bridgeweave.com. We look forward to seeing you all again. Very interesting session next week. For all of you who again want to kind of do a refresher course on what it's like to be a first-time investor, we're actually going to be covering that. So see you next week. You will hear more from us. To register, thank you so much from the InvestorAI Academy team. Signing off. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend.